the company that we used to work for, the way those guys tell their story is that one of them literally had a dream wherein he was playing this game and he had a magic helmet that would give him missions that he would run around and complete.
Train leaving for Pickpocket Junction. Board.
And he talked to his friend on the phone who did some tech work. And his friend was like, I think we can actually make that happen.
How do you feel about yellow? Everybody has 4 treasures. When you steal a treasure from another player, you place the clothespin on the lapel. If at any point you set foot outside of the train car, you are frozen until somebody steals from you. And that's because it's very dangerous to get out of a moving train.
And in the process of testing it, somebody that played their game was like, this would really work for corporate team building. Those guys have money and they spend it doing boat cruises or whatever. And they're like, really?
I thought this was funny. We're starting the business, we're ramping it up, and people are like, so, or it was after things had been going for a little while. They're like, so things are going pretty well. Do you think you're going to go to business school? And I just thought that was weird because it's like, no, I'm in business. It's like, this is my business school. So like the tests are real.
Captain Hook, well, sure, fair enough. I would imagine that he did have a name before. I would imagine that Scar had a name before he had a scar. People just forgot it.
They were both David.
He wanted the Scar of David.
I love the idea of play as an exposure to failure. The first time you do something, you won't be any good at it. You're gonna fail. You're gonna mess it up. But that only means you're gonna get better at it. I mean, the kind of corny but true example that sometimes comes up is that Thomas Edison failed over 700 times trying to come up with a filament for his incandescent light bulb.
Magic fails.
And nobody would have blamed him if he'd stopped after 300 or 400 or 500. They would have said, you gave it your best. You can go ahead and stop there. The more he failed, the more he approached the magic number and gave something that all of us use every single day, all day long. Now, most of us are not going to be Thomas Edison, but the value of failure, I think, is uncontestable. And there's no shortcut to that. But there is a low-stakes scenario in which to expose yourself to failure, which is playing games.
I've been a referee with the LA Derby Dolls for the past 5 years. It's an awesome full contact sport, all women. It's sort of a different world here. Like, people don't know each other's real names. You have a derby name and it's often hard to see people outside of that. Even if you kind of know what they do, and with what I do, it takes a while to describe it, to really make someone understand what we do. Most people don't know what I do.
Our winner tonight, this was a drawing of something reminding you of December with a mustache. We have a ninja reindeer from Charlie P. Charlie P. Ninja reindeer.
The author Jane McGonigal had a book called Reality is Broken that was on the New York Times bestsellers list, in which she compiles a lot of research that's come lately, in which it describes that people who play games are more optimistic, feel more empowered, feel more that they are up to the challenge of the life in front of them, that they are capable of solving the problems that come their way.
It's not too late to bribe me. However, I will tell you that I don't know where the candy cane is. Good guess.
You don't lift a barbell to get better at lifting a barbell for its own sake. It's an exercise you do to build up general muscle tone and stamina to allow you to do a variety of physical activities. Similarly, you don't play one of our games to get better at playing one of our games, although it is a fun and enjoyable way to spend an afternoon.
That's what we do. We bring magic to children and adults of all ages.
It's going to make you healthier. It's going to make you live longer. It's going to make you more optimistic and more enthusiastic to tackle the problems that come your way.
I mean, people always have gripes about their jobs. I've got gripes about my job. I mean,
I've got gripes about your job too.
But there's, on the whole, I love my job.
That is kind of crazy. All I have to do is squeeze the sides of the bottle.
There are aspects of it that are a job, that are tedious, that are a chore, and you'll never fully escape that without just being independently wealthy and doing whatever the heck you please. All right, Hercules.
Wow, you don't care about authority at all. You're a swearing fairy.
That's right, Grumble, we are.
Well, I really look up to you guys. How can I be more like you?
We have some freedom in the sense that, like, if we want to make an appointment in the middle of the day to get a haircut or go to the farmer's market or, take a long lunch with a friend, we can, but at the same time, we're never really done working.
There's a Plato quote that we use in our marketing material. You can learn more about somebody in an hour of play than you can in a week of work. You don't know you're around the workplace. Yeah, you're sitting 6 feet from somebody, you exchange emails, and you only see them standing up when you go to use the fax machine and they're there. You view them as this obstacle. And then you play a game with them and find out, oh my gosh, he knows the air traffic controller's alphabet. She can do a handstand. She's this well-rounded person. He's this whole picture. He's not just a cog in this machine. Neither of us is. A rapport builds there, and you've got a workplace environment where people want to stay instead of leave.
Sometimes I'll catch myself at 2 a.m. I'm like, why am I still working? And it's because when you work for yourself, no one's telling you, you got to do this, so that when they're not telling you, you say, well, hell, it's my time.
Take it, Trav. If you think that authority is your friend, well, let me tell you, run them right into the end, because we're breaking rules. We're breaking rules. Breaking rules. Breaking all the rules. We're breaking rules. We're breaking rules. All of those rules.
I also don't think that we live in a society that, while we say, follow your passion to students, I don't think that our system is really set up to fully benefit from everybody following their passion. No. We've set up a system where the big fish eat the little ones, and then they all hire people at minimum wage to be more streamlined and effective. And so it requires a lot of people doing unfulfilling work.
I can't prove this, but whatever you want to wager, I would wager that if you have 2 similar companies who perform similar services, and one of them plays our game, and the other one goes, you know what, everybody who works here is doing the work of 3 or 4 people, we don't have the time for it, we're not going to take the day off, and we're not going to play the game. You look at those 2 companies a year down the line, I'm talking about just playing one of our games once, and you ask, which one would you want to work for? Which one has a better corporate environment? I can promise you it will be the one that hired us.
One of the fun things about our job is that we get to build a game in a place that they go all the time, on a city street, in a neighborhood that they're familiar with, and then draw their attention to stuff that they don't normally see. The world can be a playground.
Companies that hold on to their employees, companies that don't have to constantly be hiring and retraining people, are companies that will do well.
Sure, there's laws about things you can't do there, but there's all kinds of things that you can that you just don't think to do normally because it's not what everybody always does. So anytime that we're able to bring a little bit of, wonder back into the world, that's a success. That feels good.
So yeah, absolutely, cause and effect. People who play our games, the companies that play our games are going to be more profitable. I dare anyone to prove me wrong.
I used to obey, but now I'm throwing